okay, is far beyond our expectation.
It's the safest way of owning a house.
My mouth is full of appreciation to Federal Mortgage Branch.
Good evening and thank you for joining us once again on the program Everyone Deserves a Home, a program designed to showcase the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria and its activities towards providing affordable housing for the average Nigerian. I am your regular host, Zulaihat Bello-Gobir. It is no longer news that the FMBN, in its efforts to provide affordable housing and mortgages for its NHF contributors, is seeking innovative ways to improve its activities and processes while also looking for ways to address its challenges. From stakeholder engagements to sensitizations, the bank is not relenting in mapping out ways to have NHF contributors receive the best services from the bank. On this episode, we'll see details of a one-day sensitization program organized by the FCT2 Branch for NHF and IPPIS desk officers of contributing organizations in the FCT. How did the exercise go? That will be our major story on the program. This, alongside news and other segments, will complete our package. I'll be back after this timeout with the full details. Don't go away.
To improve transparency and accountability in managing the NHF funds, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has introduced *219#. *219# is a new way to know the status of your NHF contribution from anywhere. To use this service, dial *219#. Select 1 to update your contact detail. Press 2 to check your contribution status in any month up to the last 5 years. You can also use our mortgage calculator and bulletin board by selecting options 5 and 6 respectively. You can access other services by using direct shortcodes like *219*3# to retrieve your NHF number, *219*4*1# to check your last 5 transactions, and *219*4*2# to check your statement of account. No internet connection required, and it is available on all networks. *219#. Simpler, smarter, faster. Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Everyone deserves a home.
We'll first begin the episode with issues making the news from the diary of the FMBN. In our lineup, FMBN calls for World Bank support in restructuring the bank, while FMBN MD says customer privacy will be protected. Stay with us for details of these stories.
The Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Madu Hamman, has said that there is need to restructure the bank in order to enable it to play the role it was established for. He said so while speaking with the team from the World Bank who came to pay a courtesy visit recently. Hamman noted that over the years, the bank only relies on NHF contributions, which is not sufficient to cater for the housing market.
In the past few years, the bank had tended to rely mostly on funding from the National Housing Fund contribution. And that fund is not sufficient to actually address the mortgage needs of Nigerians, talk less of construction needs for provision of housing stock in the country. So we need to actually restructure the bank.
Madhu then listed some of the challenges the sector is faced with, describing capitalization as a major challenge. He called on the World Bank to join hands with the bank in addressing them. Senior Financial Sector Specialist, Finance Competitiveness and Innovation Global Practice, Central and West African Region, Ahmed Rostom, noted that with the global economy now recovering, the housing sector is one area that will help boost the economy. He then added that the World Bank would look at available opportunities to devote resources to engage the bank with.
An economy as big as Nigeria, with the housing, with the challenges affecting the housing sector as it stands right now, it needs every effort from all institutions, and we cannot tackle this without, as you rightfully mentioned, constructive thinking about scaling up the National Housing Fund through innovative ways, and without putting the Federal Mortgage Bank on the right path for full sustainability, for identifying its role, its commercial role from one perspective. But then if there are expectations from the public and from the government on the delivery of a particular service or a product from the mortgage bank, it should be well identified, well costed, and that's where the expectations both from the institution, from the principal and agent, we call it the principal agent aspects, from a principal agent perspective, for you to act as an efficient agent.
Other speakers noted areas the World Bank can assist the FMBN improve.
We just believe that whatever the challenges are from our own side, with the support of the World Bank, so much can be done.
There's need for capacity building. Is there anything that the World Bank can do to cause a relationship? Is this between us and the Fannie Mae, the Freddie Mac and all of those, so that we can build our capacity along that line?
The management of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has also received the National Commissioner and Chief Executive, National Data Protection Bureau at the bank's headquarters. The Managing Director of the FMBN, Madhu Hamman, while speaking during the visit, disclosed that the bank values its customers' privacy and will therefore ensure that all customer information are duly protected.
We have a lot of data on our customers, and it will be a serious slight on the organization, on the bank, if such data is breached and people can have access to various customers' information.
He also assured the National Commissioner that the bank will collaborate with the Bureau to fully implement data protection. The National Commissioner and Chief Executive, National Data Protection Bureau, Dr. Vincent Olatunji, while speaking earlier, said data protection must be seen as a culture due to the increase of digitalization both locally and internationally.
The issue of data privacy and protection is not a global concern, that data subjects who are citizens of countries should be adequately protected, and data controllers like yourself have obligations to the data subjects to ensure that their data is adequately protected, is safeguarded, and processed within the available regulations.
Glad to have you stay with us. Coming up next on the program is a sensitization for NHF and IPPIS desk officers in contributing organizations in the FCT to work out modalities to address challenges and issues surrounding NHF contributions. Keep watching.
The Act establishing the National Housing Fund scheme stipulates that 2.5% of every worker's income be deducted into a pool of funds. This pool of funds, when gathered, allows the bank provide loans and mortgages for its contributors.
When you pay it for 6 months and continue, then you become pre-qualified to be able to have a loan to buy, to build, or to renovate a house that you are already living in.
In gathering these funds, however, the bank and its contributing organizations have seen and noted issues and challenges surrounding the scheme, such as knowledge gap in the products and services the bank offers, untimely remittances, lack of awareness on proper procedures for effecting repayment, and record keeping and accountability, among others.
Sometimes these applications are submitted without proper.
Recently, the FCT2 Branch office of the bank organized a one-day sensitization program for NHF and IPPIS desk officers of contributing organizations in the FCT to look into these and other challenges in order to address them. In her welcome address, Mrs. Timan Elayo, who represented the field officers group, noted that the sensitization aims at providing a workable solution to challenges the bank, NHF and IPPIS desk officers encounter. She said these challenges militate against the seamless discharge of the bank's mandates.
We have discovered that this collaboration, although gratifying, has not been without hiccups here and there, hindering optimal performance on both sides. one of which is the knowledge gap with respect to products that the average Nigerian civil public servant can benefit from as a dividend of his or her contribution.
4 papers were presented at the sensitization. Their topics are understanding the importance of providing accurate and reliable NHF contributing schedule, sensitization paper on FMBN special products, loan repayment procedures for FMBN home renovation loan, rent to own and NHF construction loan, and integrated personnel and payroll information system. Zonal Manager FCT Shehu Osidi explains why these topics were selected.
Those are topics that relate directly to the issues and the challenges that we have identified. Number one is the issue of remittance of contributions without schedules. When you remit contributions without schedule, it becomes very difficult or impossible for the bank to upload those schedules, those contributions to the customer's individual account. It's like making a deposit in a commercial bank where you do not have an account. So that's part of the problem. You need a lot of information, we need a lot of data to be able to update the records of our customers. So we need the schedules which indicates how much each contributor to the National Housing Fund has contributed. You know that the contributions come in bulk. Deductions are made from the salaries of contributors by the employing organizations, and then they remit bulk amounts to us. We require the schedules so that we can upload individual contributions to their respective accounts.
Why then was it necessary to have the sensitization in the first instance?
We have been having issues with proper record of NHF contributions by contributors to the fund. We're also having issues with documentation for loan application, which delay the processes of the turnaround time for loan applications. We're also having issues with repayments of loans already disbursed. So a convergence of these issues informed this sensitization that we're having today.
It was necessary so that we can properly engage with our contributors. They contribute through the IPPIS platform. And like I said earlier, we've been having issues with that platform. Some of them don't know how to use it in order to credit the bank with the payments that need to be credited appropriately. So we felt that there was a need to educate them because the issues largely stem from a lack of understanding or a lack of awareness. So that is the purpose, so that we can properly enlighten them and then have a seamless operation with them.
The program also gave room for the bank to keep its contributing organizations up to date with the bank's procedures.
A lot of the problems that we have relates to the lack of information with respect to our NHF contributor. A lot of them do not know how our operations operate, how the process that they need to undertake to be able to access some of our facilities. We have been doing a lot of public sensitization in the TV, in the radio, and so on. However, we think that it's necessary to have a one-on-one touch with the customers. Let us understand what their needs are, what are their challenges, and also keep them abreast of our procedures and processes so that they can better understand the way we operate, and then we can have a seamless interaction for the mutual benefit of both all of us.
With the bank now automating its processes, there was need also to have the desk officers understand the need to keep up to date with new innovations.
The FMBN, like you know, is changing. Before now, people complain a lot about whether this bank is still existing. We are making contributions, we don't know what we are contributing. So the bank is going digital. We are automating our processes. Now customers are able to get SMS alerts of their contributions. And then for us to be able to get that, we need a lot of data from the various contributors so that this process can be institutionalized.
The hope for the sensitization is to have improvement in the processes involving loan processing, repayment and funds, among others.
We're hoping that at the end of this interactive session, the challenge we're having with maintenance of accounts for NHF contributors would be resolved. I can mention a few of them. Sometimes contributions are made and schedules are not presented for us to be able to keep accounts for the individual staff of organizations that have made the contribution on behalf of their staff. Because deductions are made from their salaries and payments are made in bulk into the accounts of Federal Mortgage Bank. But then we need a breakdown of that payment in order to be able to keep accounts for the individuals whose salaries were deducted and paid to us. You understand? There has been a gap with, the submission of these schedules. Apart from submission, there are also delays in submission. So that sometimes when people retire from this organization, it becomes difficult for them to get for the retirees to get a refund of their contribution. And it doesn't portray FMBN in a good light. But then it's not exactly our fault that we are not able to, make refunds in good time because the records are not there. So we thought that with this kind of sensitization, they would be better informed so that that challenge or those challenges will be resolved.
Get trained as a mortgage expert, smart property development industry player. Get that full option capacity training center for your individual or organizational needs at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria FMBN Training Centre. Courses are both technical and managerial in mortgage operations, finance, human resources, and ICT, all facilitated by both internal and external mortgage and property industry experts.
We borrow the money from the bank. Every month we're servicing it.
All FMBN courses are approved by the Center for Management Development. Meanwhile, the FMBN Training Centre offers 8 training facilities for rentals, 3 seminar rooms of 30 seating capacities, 2 syndicate rooms of 10 and 12 seating capacities, 2 conference halls of 108 and 78 seating capacities, an ICT lab of 38 seats, and a 24/7 power supply. Visit the FMBN Center at number J4 Ali Akilu Road, Kaduna. Email training.school@fmbn.gov.ng or call 0901 280 3484.
Welcome back. You're still watching Everyone Deserves a Home. Tonight on our Dream Come True segment, we will be sharing the story of Muhammad Abacha, who became a homeowner thanks to the National Housing Fund scheme. Today, he is grateful he has space to accommodate his large family. Let's hear from Muhammad.
The payment process is quite flawless.
It was unbelievable because I didn't know that they have such a scheme existing in Nigeria.
Is it true that I will get the house? No, why not? You met all the requirements, so we'll get it.
The joy of ownership is wonderful.
This beautiful bungalow belongs to Muhammad Abacha, a staff of the Kaduna State Ministry of Health. He did not have an idea of the NHF deductions on his salary until the IPPIS system was introduced. After noting the deductions on NHF, Muhammad did not ignore it but went to the FMBN for more enquiries.
Where is this money going to? So, thank God the Kaduna office of Federal Mortgage Bank briefed us on the deduction. So they said with this deduction, one will be able to get or to own a house. So thank God, virtually a lot of us don't have houses. So I think we are the first set to start and show our interest.
After inquiries and all due diligence was done, Muhammad got a 2-bedroom fully detached bungalow at the cost of 3.7 million naira only. Because the house was very spacious, he decided to make some modifications on the house.
The little renovation I did is only the extension of the present the fallow we are in now. So I have a very big family. I need to have at least 2 fallows, at least. So actually, what motivated me to renovate because of the large number of family, one. Then secondly, the space I see in the house. So for us to live in a 3-bedroom, because I converted it to 3-bedroom. So I decided, since there was a space, okay, let me just start. Let me build the DBQ.
He says the house now accommodates his large family. He is grateful he no longer has to worry about raising rent.
Initially, I lived in a rented apartment with my 10 children. Honestly, I suffered a lot along the line, because even for you to raise the annual payment, how landlords keep on pushing for you to give them payment. Honestly, I always imagine if I am in a rented house, honestly, I cannot even pay the rent.
The best part for Abacha is the repayment arrangement. He says it will not affect his life in any way.
Actually, the mode of payment is very convenient. And an ordinary civil servant will not feel the pain of paying the amount. When they change the scheme to rent to own, there was no equity. So the greatest challenge civil servants are facing presently now is for them to raise an equity to give to primary mortgage bank for them to own a house. But our own, sincerely speaking, there was no single kobo. We didn't even give a single kobo for us to own the house.
He encourages Nigerians not to doubt the reality of the NHF scheme.
My advice to Nigerians, especially civil servant, actually, if they are thinking that the scheme is not real, definitely the scheme is real. So there was no doubt on that.
Our question for the week is, can I obtain a loan from the FMBN to purchase a house that was not funded by the FMBN?
Very well, very well. We allow for that. We allow for that. Even if it's an individual that is ready to sell his house to you under a mortgage arrangement, it's allowed. But that house must satisfy a major requirement, which is a good title. It must have a good title. We don't want to enter into any transaction with a property that is encumbered. So once we can establish the fact that there is good title to that property, there's nothing that stops Federal Mortgage Bank from purchasing that house on behalf of NHF Contributor.
Thank you for staying with us through another edition of the program. Make sure to keep a date with us again next week, same time, same station, when I'll come again with another episode. Until then, do well by logging onto our website on www.fmbn.gov.ng for more information about the FMBN, or call the number showing on your screens. You can also send a message with your questions to the phone number on your screens. Till we meet again next week, it's bye from here.